Warm welcome to everyone joining Woolf's first Ask Me Anything series. This series is hosted twice per month. It was created for students interested in joining the Woolf community. Woolf, as you may know, is the first global collegiate university that allows qualified organizations to join as member colleges and offer accredited degrees. You're here because you're interested in learning more about Woolf, and for this, we welcome you and thank you for your attendance. So let's get things started by introducing Joshua. Joshua is the founder of Woolf, which exists to increase access to world-class higher education and ensure that it's globally recognized and transferable. Previously at the University of Oxford, he was a member of the Faculty of Philosophy and the governing parliament of the university. He also held a Humboldt Fellowship, during which he worked on the definition and measure of human progress in relation to the creation of modern universities. We welcome you, Joshua, and invite you to kick off the session.
Awesome. We're really glad to be here. We have a short presentation, which I'll walk through pretty briefly. But then I think the real goal is to cover the most popular questions that have been coming up from prospective students. So just hopping into the deck, this is a kind of broad introduction to Woolf and what we're doing at Woolf. So Woolf is the first global collegiate university that allows other qualified organizations to join as member colleges and offer accredited degrees. There's a kind of process that prospective colleges go through, and if they are qualified and they end up meeting all the standards, they become kind of full members of a global institution, comparable to the way that, say, the University of London or University of Oxford is composed of colleges, or even Delhi University. That means that in general, students are admitted through our colleges. And so a student who comes to Woolf is going to be studying with a Scale or NeoVarsity or a Go IT or an UpGrad or one of these other organizations that we work with. And so our real mission here is to increase world-class higher education and ensure it's globally recognized and transferable. And so one of the great things about the collegiate university system is that there's a measure of autonomy that's given to each of the colleges. They're really able to operate with their own kind of set of norms and practices within a lot of domains. And then there's a set of university guidelines that apply equally to everybody and provide advantages to everybody, such as global recognition of the degrees. So Woolf colleges today are some of the fastest growing education organizations in the world. We're working with organizations like Scalar, UpGrad, PhysicsWallah, iNeuron, Go IT, and many others. And those who enroll and get a degree with Woolf will have the name of the college on that degree certificate, as well as Woolf's license number and Woolf's name. And the degrees are globally recognized. They're recognized in about 57 countries today, which are members of the Lisbon Convention for Recognition. And then, of course, students have actually taken those degrees and transferred to other countries where they've also been recognized. Woolf also has some strategic guidance from something called the Woolf Academic Advisory Council. This really includes representatives of some of the most senior folks in the industry, bringing pretty broad perspective on what we're doing at Woolf. So we have, the founders of multiple universities, the president of an IIT, and the former head of one of the most important regulatory bodies in the world, WASC, on our advisory council. So it's a very serious project, it's a very big and global mission, and the goal is to ensure that students, not only receive a world-class education, but make sure that it's going to be recognized by governments around the world. Here's Professor Stephen Kosslyn, formerly of Harvard University, saying that the insights and innovations, of Woolf have really opened up new opportunities that are much needed in higher education. So that's all. That's a kind of brief introduction to Woolf. It's a new institution, and so it's not been around for more than 5 years, but it's growing very quickly. It's perhaps the fastest growing collegiate university in the world, and so it's really exciting to be part of it.
Thank you, Joshua. I know the mission resonates with all of us. That said, let's jump straight into the Q&A. Introducing Dave here, Woolf's Student Support Manager. I know you have a few questions queued up, so let's jump right in.
Hey, everyone. So we have got some few interesting questions. Yeah, this is a good one. So how is Woolf different from the traditional universities? Yeah,
And
Joshua,
some of
you
these
wanna-
are probably better for Zach, and some maybe for me. But I think we just covered some of those things. I think Woolf is different insofar as we are partnering with some of the fastest growing education organizations in the world and bringing them through an experience that makes them member colleges. Collegiate universities themselves are not new. They've been around for 1,000 years. And so there's nothing particularly unusual about that. But what is unusual is that Woolf, like say the University of London or the UC system, as the university brand, sits in the background a little bit while we manage the administrative and compliance aspects of what's happening inside the colleges. And then the colleges tend to be these very innovative, either academic or ed tech and job-oriented organizations like say a Scalar or an Upgrad.
Got it. Yeah, we got another one. So where are Woolf degrees recognized?
So, Woolf provides European accreditation to the degrees, which means that they're recognized generally in Europe in the first instance. But in addition to that, there's something called the Lisbon Convention for Recognition, which makes it a treaty obligation for other countries to recognize the degrees if they are members of the Lisbon Convention. And so there are 57 countries today which are members of that. And so Woolf degrees have kind of default recognition amongst those 57 countries. Additionally, whenever a student wants to go to a particular jurisdiction, we get a lot of inbound student requests about this. We go and do a series of registrations with the local government just to make sure the pathway will be smooth. It is notable, for specific countries that have points on their visa systems, whether it's for immigration, citizenship, or residency. We have gone, for example, to Canada to ensure that Woolf would be a recognized university in Canada, and students do indeed get those points on their visas or citizenship applications. So whenever a student's got a specific query, we can always answer that. But in general, if you roll out the map of the world, there are 57 countries that kind of automatically recognize it. But ECTS credits are the largest, most sophisticated accreditation. ECTS, it's really just a huge system that's got over 40 countries in it today, almost 50 countries. And so it's the largest, most sophisticated system out there. It really has global recognition, even beyond the 57 countries of the Lisbon Convention.
Got it. Yeah, so we have another question. A learner is asking whether his master's degree qualify for a PhD.
Yeah, we get this a lot. My advice is twofold. The first is, look, a master's degree is a necessary but not always sufficient condition for getting into a PhD. And so this is a real master's degree, just like it would be from any other major higher education institution in Europe. So there's no difference in terms of the master's degree. It will provide that qualification step, but most PhD programs will ask for other things above and beyond the master's degree. And in general, when you're admitted to a PhD program, the admission is through a specific faculty member or department rather than through the university as a whole. And so my advice is, look, yes, you should have a master's degree. Yes, this is the kind of master's degree that can qualify you, but also go out and reach out to that department where you're interested, reach out to the specific faculty member, ask them the things that they're interested in. They may want you to have kind of further life experiences or publications above and beyond your master's degree.
Got it. Yeah, we have another question coming up. So what's the relationship between a member college and Woolf? Like say, for example, a Scalar and Woolf.
So, as a collegiate higher education institution, there are some things which are relatively independent and unrelated. And so colleges have the rights to set their own internal polity. And then there are other things that are very centralized at Woolf, such as quality assurance and accreditation and some of those things. And so as a collegiate higher education institution, we're very similar to University of Oxford or Cambridge or London or Delhi University, where the colleges have their own kind of social life and ethos. They might even have their own particular language. Some of our colleges, have a language that is different than the other colleges in terms of language of instruction. And so the things that are unique are often embedded at the college level, which has the power to admit students and faculty and to create new degree programs. Then at the university or higher education institution level, the quality assurance, approval of new degrees, the granting of degrees, and so on, all happen centrally to make sure we can manage all the government relations.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so we got the last question now. Where is Woolf based out of?
Yeah, it's a great question. So most of the students that enroll in Woolf today will be enrolling in Woolf in Europe rather than the United States. We do have a Woolf University in the United States, but most students today will enroll through Europe because the ECTS system is just so globally recognized, and we have such a large global base to our students that it provides the most reach in terms of where they might go.
Got it. Yeah, thanks, Joshua.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is you're likely here because you have interacted with one of our member colleges already. And I would say if that's the case, continue to pursue those conversations directly with that member college. They're perfectly equipped to handle any questions regarding eligibility for the degrees. But if you're coming to Woolf for the first time, not having interacted with member college, feel free to browse our site and take a look at what might fit. And feel free to reach out for us for guidance on what might be a fit for your intention for study. So happy to help there as well. If there are no more questions, then I just want to thank you all for attending on behalf of Joshua, Dave, myself. I want to thank you for your interest in Woolf and want to encourage you to continue your accredited degree exploration directly with our member colleges. Thanks everyone for attending, and goodbye for now.